Good morning, everybody. Morning. Good morning. I'm delighted to be with you. Morning, Carl. And this is a bit loud, this is Mark. Could you turn this down a bit, please? Thank you. I don't actually think I need a microphone in a room this small, however. It's there just in case we need it. I'm delighted to welcome you to the first time we've ever done this particular seminar. We've done a lot of seminars, but this one we thought we would have a change and do sorted. Because I've got a friend who lives in Woking, so you can imagine how he says it, can't you? Sorted. It's always sorted for him. So we thought a bit lower, thank you. So what we're going to go through today, I'm going to share with you a series of tried and tested and proven ideas for how we can get more and more leads into the top of our marketing funnel without spending a fortune. And how we can make more money doing what it is that we do for people in order to make their lives easier. Before we get going, one thing I need to tell you is this: I don't have all the answers. I've been in business now for 44 years. I know it's not possible when you look at me, but I understand. But it is 44 years I've been in business now, and over that period I've realised one key thing: you never stop learning. The world moves so quickly, everything's changing all of the time. If you just concentrated on Facebook and LinkedIn, if you just did that, that changes almost daily. So that alone will keep you learning all day long, and those can be two of our major sources for leads. Justin?
Talk about LinkedIn.
Yes.
There's another session here, completely different to us, LinkedIn thing, and an Angela Durant, if she's here. Is an Angela Durant here?
Yes, there's Angela.
Angela, you're in the wrong room.
No.
Yes. You can stay if you like, but your LinkedIn one is next door.
No, I definitely booked this one.
Yeah, okay,
Good.
yeah.
Good, fine, fantastic. On our books it says that you booked on something else, but thank you very much indeed, and you're welcome.
This is just part of his act, I'm sure it is. Is this for real?
And what's
Yeah, no.
Okay, there is a mic, by the way, if you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I've got a mic here, Steve. And, this is my colleague, Steve Harrison. You don't need to know. No, okay. This is my colleague, Steve Harrison. Steve and I have worked together for 34 years now, would you believe? I met him when he came to sell me wine in my office. So that already sets the scene, doesn't it? Right. This is a Friday afternoon. The wine flowed massively. By the way, I got seriously drunk and placed the biggest order that he'd ever had in his life because I was drunk. And in this drunken state, I said to him, "You should be working with me." Right? And we discussed it, and he said, "When would you like me to start?" Because he wasn't drunk. Right? And I said, "Monday." He went, "Okay." And that was 34 years ago, and I still can't get rid of him. He's still here. Still here. So, let's get started. We've got so much stuff to cover. I was looking through the slides that I prepared and thinking, because I prepared them based on the promise I made in the marketing, and I'm thinking, this is a 3-day course. So I'm going to squeeze a 3-day course into a 1-day course, unlike so many of the films and programs we see these days, where you get an hour-and-a-half film squeezed into 2.5 hours. I think have you been to some of those? You know, anybody see Revenant? Anybody been to see Revenant? I mean, great film, great scenery, but it's an hour-and-a-half film squeezed into 2.5 hours. Anybody seen Hateful Eight? Anybody seen Hateful Eight? I mean, that's so long, they put a half-hour break in the middle. I mean, seriously, it's just like when you're a kid going to the flicks, and it's a half-hour break, so anyway. So we will have breaks. So this is what we're talking about, your lead generation sorted, and I'm going to share with you some of the cards from the deck of a little bit of how to write, create and market informational products, because as most of you know, I do a lot of that stuff, but particularly how to do lead generation without spending a fortune. So, the two big challenges I feel that we have to face are these, is belief and knowledge, and the solution is this: it's mixing with the right people. I've found that throughout life, if I mix with the right people, their positive attitude rubs off on me. I find that I learn stuff from them, and I'm a lifelong learner. You're going to meet Lee Gilbert today, who's been dealing with my web stuff since 14 years ago. And he's going to do a session just before lunch, because then you'll be getting tired and want a break. So I like to get him to do that. And then when we come back from lunch and we're all digesting the food, I get him to do that session as well. So, you know, I think that's fair, as it's my event, don't you? I would suggest you do that if you run. Anybody else run events? Yes, I'll get speakers in and get them to do the bracket around lunchtime. It's a great idea. So you need the right mindset, so we've got to have this positive attitude mindset, and we've got to be taking the right actions. So I've been sharing these ideas for the last 25 years, mostly with coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, accountants, small business owners. Nancy and I have met again this morning, and it was what, how many, 15 years ago.
Changed a bit.
bit.
I haven't changed a bit. You're absolutely right. I'm going the other way, actually. Yes, there's a film about that, isn't there? Yeah?
Benjamin Button.
The Strange Case of Benjamin Button, indeed it is. And we've also got to be taking the right actions, because action is the key. It's this simple. I've got this process in my head. I was taught by a bank manager 30 years ago. It's this goal, plan, action, feedback. They want to write this down. It's really, I think it's a good idea to take notes. You've got a notebook there in front of you. And you've got a bag, because I'm going to give you stuff as well, which is good. Somebody once said to me that the bluntest pencil is better than the sharpest memory. And I think it's a nice idea. So if anything does come to mind, I would suggest you capture it, because you can always revisit it later. Unfortunately, what happens with a lot of people, may I borrow your book a moment, is that they write stuff in the book and then they take it home and they stick it all over their office and they stick it on the shelf, don't they? And they revisit it when they move, right? And that's called shelf development and not... Sorry. It's going to be like this all day, right? And obviously we're going to take the right action. So goal, plan, action, feedback. Set the goal. A lot of people set goals. Who sets goals in this room? Anybody set goals? A few of us set goals, great. And more so than most people, if you spoke to them in the street and said you set goals, they'd go, what? Right? But I find a lot of people, even those who set goals, don't make very good plans to achieve the goals. And that really is so important. So it's goal, plan. So who would admit, just like me, that sometimes having set a goal, you don't set the right plan? Yeah, okay, there's a few of us. Yeah, okay, great. And then the next bit, of course, is taking action. So we've got to take action, because action is the key to everything. No action, no nothing. And then we've got to check the feedback, and the feedback has two parts. One is internal, one is external. External feedback is the results you're getting, the tangible stuff, the applause, the money, whatever it might be. The internal feedback is how you feel about it. Because have you ever achieved a goal but not felt good? I have. I've had some great successes in life and some fantastic failures. I've probably learned more from the failures than the successes, actually. But sometimes some of the successes, it didn't feel right. So I had to give up on it. So you need to check both of those things for external feedback and internal. And then you just go back round to the top and you've got a feedback loop, haven't you? Goal, plan, action, feedback. And a loop to the top saying, am I still on track? Simple. And if the goal isn't working, dump it. That doesn't mean you don't persevere, but don't get stuck into goals that don't work. There is no point perfuming the pig. It's still a pig. Right? If the horse is dead, get off. Okay, I see a lot of people riding dead horses. No point. Just get off the thing, let go of it. It would be a good idea.